Ladies and gentlemen, it is currently nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm coming across some fairly interesting information on Twitter. Now, first things first, before we get any further, I do just want to clarify that none of this information is confirmed at this point. This is a tweet thread from a small YouTuber that came out 3 hours ago, so none of it is confirmed at this point, but a lot of what he's saying makes a lot of sense. Anyways, without blueballing you guys anymore, let's actually get into what this video is all about. As a lot of you may know, KSI and Logan Paul came out with the drink Prime not too long ago, and it's been a very successful product since its launch, largely due to KSI and Logan Paul's influence. Keep that in mind for later on in the video. Now, like I mentioned a few hours ago, a small YouTuber by the name of Anonymity ended up coming out with a tweet thread, a very long tweet thread, which we're not going to go through the entirety of, just the important stuff. But he came out with this thread a couple hours before I'm posting this video, and it goes as follows. Logan Paul and KSI did not create Prime Energy. I found out who did. For months, KSI and Logan claim that they developed Prime, that they created this energy drink, which is absolutely the case when Logan Paul dropped a video 10 months ago titled, "I started a drink company with KSI." Not to mention how clear it was that they were trying to give the impression that they were the owners and CEOs and founders, or whatever you want to say, of this company. Essentially, they were saying that they owned the company together as a partnership. Now, you're probably wondering, why does this even matter? Is there any evidence saying that they don't own the company? Well, no, like I said at the start of the video, there's no actual evidence saying that they don't own the company, but there's a lot of things pointing towards the fact that they probably don't own the company and are just promoting the product for somebody else. We'll get into exactly who that person is later in the thread, but for now, let's go ahead and continue on with that. Continuing on from where Anonymity left off, he goes on to say, however, this is a misnomer. They didn't create the drink, they didn't run R&D together or decide what went inside of it. They were hired to be brand managers once the drink was created and given a creator stake in the company. On Prime's website, it's said to have 3 creators, Logan Paul, KSI, and Max Clemens. So who is this third person? Max Clemens, the person that Anonymity mentioned in this tweet, is the person that I was referring to earlier, and we're going to learn a lot more about him in the following tweets. Max Clemens is the founder of 3D Energy Drinks, Alani Nutrition, Story Apparel, co-owner of Congo Brands, and co-founder of Prime Energy. So if things aren't starting to add up for you guys already, they're about to. Anonymity would continue by saying 3D Energy was released in 2017 as a low-calorie, low-sugar for everyone energy drink. Sound familiar? I'll have a piece to say about this afterwards because this is absolutely brilliant. But anyways, Max's other brand, Congo Brands, is an interesting project. They use influencer audiences to determine what products are wanted, develop those products for audiences, and use those pre-existing audiences to kick off those brands. So for any of you that know anything about selling stuff online, you have to find a winning product, something that's actually going to sell, something that's actually going to entice people to purchase this order. And that's something that most people struggle with when it comes to finding stuff that's going to actually be profitable to sell online. Well, there's an entire wing of this company that Max Klesk, whatever his name is involved in, that's designated solely to finding the winning products. And then he's involved in other things such as that 3D energy drink we already talked about, as well as Prime. He's a co-founder of Prime. These are all brands that he launched after his company Cogno Brands went and found the market analysis to actually find out that these products were desired on the market. At that point, he would approach a creator like KSI and Logan Paul or whoever else to help him promote this product. You guys can see where I'm going with this. He kind of doesn't have to rely on anything but the 2 companies that he's involved in because they're symbiotic. They live off of each other. They feed each other. Really brilliant, honestly. We will talk about the morality of this a little bit later on in the video because I don't know. We'll touch on it later in the video, but let's continue on with the tweet thread. All right, this is where everything kind of gets blown out of the water just a little bit. Anonymity continues on by saying, and unsurprisingly, both 3D Energy and Prime Hydration are owned by Cogno Brands. So just to quickly wrap this up and explain it from the perspective of this all being 100% true and, you know, we have all the sources to work with, because we don't. Let's just roleplay for a minute that we do. Essentially, a guy named Max came in the picture and asked Logan Paul and KSI to start a drink brand together with them where they would all have equal ownership of the drink brand. Before doing this, his main company, Cogno Brands, did a bunch of market research and found out that starting a drink company may be in high demand as far as influencer marketing goes. So like I said, he goes ahead and reaches out to KSI and Logan Paul, asks them to start a business with him because he knows it'll be profitable, especially with their influence. And bam, just like that, there you go. I mean, this guy's a fucking genius. You literally can't even get around that fact. We got 3 more tweets that we're going to be going through from Anonymity here, and he goes on to say, the big takeaways here, Prime is owned by a company which its focus is to create brands for influencers based on their audience. Its co-creator has a similar drink company already which also markets to the same people. KSI and Logan's audience are easily marketable. Logan and KSI do not have majority shares in the company. These two do not put money back into the company like they claim they do. The company generates more than enough revenue to do this on its own. So what does all this mean as far as the morality of this business model goes? Personally, in my opinion, I don't see much of an issue with it. Was the way they promoted it a little shady by not including this Max guy in it whatsoever? Absolutely. But as far as business goes, I don't really think that there's anything morally wrong with what this Max guy is doing. I think it's fucking brilliant. And those two things aren't tied together. I just legitimately don't see anything wrong with the business model. I can understand how maybe somebody that doesn't understand anything relating to business might look at this and be like, oh, that's shady, but realistically, he's finding an issue in the market, he's finding a problem in the market, and he's solving it. He has a data company looking into what people want on the internet, and then he has all these different companies that he's involved in where he's promoting the products that he's finding with this other company that people want. There's nothing shady about this at all. The only thing shady is when people like KSI and Logan Paul don't include the fact that there's somebody else involved in a product that they're heavily promoting and saying that they own. And honestly, now that I think about it, it's kind of a stretch to even say that, because they were never deceptive about what the product is. They're never deceptive about what they're offering. The only thing they really were deceptive about is another person that nobody knows and really isn't going to influence a person's purchasing decision was involved in the company. I don't think there was much shadiness going on in this situation at all. I think it was just a fairly common back-end business deal that nobody on the internet really got to see the details of. So at the end of all of this, now that we've discussed everything in frivolous detail, did KSI and Logan scam their audience with the launch of Prime? No, they did not. And I know over the course of the next couple of days with this news coming out, people are going to be making videos, probably just trying to hop on the bandwagon saying they are. But we need to look at the situation objectively, fellas, okay? This is not a scam. This is not shady. This is a simple business model taking place, and a fairly fucking brilliant one at that. So brilliant, so effective that people are angry at its effectiveness. Well, this is fairly new news, so I don't know if people are angry about it yet, but I'm sure they will be. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. If you are new around here, consider subscribing and turning notifications on. Check out the comments and the description for my Twitter down below. And with all that, I'm out of here. Peace.